Hi guys, welcome back to my page. So today we're going to be working on this velvet off the shoulder shirt. I did it in two colors, cranberry and gray. I have one that I did in all gray. It's probably the picture that you're seeing when you click on a video. Yeah, it's real simple. It's worked in 4 sections, front panel, back panel, and then sleeves. It's real simple, so I don't really have nothing to say in this intro, so let's just get right into the video. Thank you guys so much for clicking to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Okay guys, so if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you saw this velvet gray off the shoulder sweater that I did. I did record that video, but the footage, something happened to the footage, so I'm re-recording the video. But instead of doing all gray, I decided to do 2 colors. I decided to do gray and this cranberry color. So I already did the first panel off camera. It looks like this. So we're gonna start the second panel. So I'm starting with color A, which is going to be my gray. Sorry, let me show you the yarn I'm using. Is Yarn Inspiration Bernat velvet yarn. This one is color vapor gray, and I'm not sure of the name of this one. I'll look it up and link it down below, but yeah, I don't have any of the tags. But it's like a cranberry, burgundy, whatever you want to call it. So, and this one. So I'm gonna start off with gray. I'm going to go get my hook because I left it on my bed. Okay, so, and I'm using a 6.5mm hook. I'm not sure of the brand of these hooks. I'll link that down below too. I think I got it from Amazon. If I can find the set, I got them from Amazon, and it comes with, I think, every hook size until like size 7, I think. So of course I'm going to start off with a slip knot. And I'm going to chain 50. I'm sorry, not 50. I'm going to chain 58. Now I wear 1X. And I wanted this a bit oversized, so that's why I am chaining 58. So now I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th one right here. I'm going to insert my hook and complete a double crochet. Now I'm going to complete double crochets for this row in the next 10 rows. Okay guys, so I'm back and I only have 2 stitches left on this row. So I am going to finish those 2. Okay, so now you're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, you're going to turn your work. I'm sorry. I don't know if that bothers anybody, but you're going to chain 3. Now you're going to yarn over and you're going to insert your hook not into this stitch that's connected to chain 3 in the next one. So you're going to skip this one and you're going to go, you're going to go into the next one. And you're going to complete a double crochet. And it should look just like that. And then you're just going to continue. You're going to do 11 rows of gray and 11 rows of cranberry. Okay guys, so I'm at the 11th row of gray. I have a couple more stitches. Hold on. A couple more stitches in this row that I am just going to double crochet until I get to the end. Okay, so I'm at the last stitch of the 11th row of gray. I am going to yarn over, insert my hook into that stitch, yarn back, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm going to leave these 2 chains on my hook. I'm going to leave quite a bit of yarn. I'm going to pop it. This yarn is really easy for you just to pop off and without having to use scissors. Okay. So I am going to attach whatever you want to call it, burgundy, cranberry. I'm just going to call it cranberry because it looks like a cranberry to me. So I'm going to use my 2 fingers like I always do and hold them, flip the yarn over. I'm going to put the loop over my hook and pull through those 2 stitches like I'm finishing a double crochet. It's just I'm attaching a different piece of yarn. So I'm going to use the working yarn from the ball and I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to turn my work and I am just going to double crochet like I was doing with gray, just down with a different color. And now I am going to do 11 rows of cranberry. I really don't think that's the name for it, but I'm going to call it that. Now I'm going to just do that 11 rows of this and then I'll be back to show you guys how to attach and start the sleeve. Okay guys, so I finished both panels, front and back, or whatever, just 2 regular panels. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, you could probably see that a little better now. So I left the cranberry attached so that I won't have to cut it off and tie it back. So what I'm going to do is turn my work with both of them connecting. So we're just like that, holding both of them together. I'm going to chain one just so it's out my way. Insert my hook into this chain 3 space that's right here on the back and slip stitch through both. Now I'm going to slip stitch for 12 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is 11, and this is 12. So I slip stitched for 12 stitches. Now I am going to chain 1, yarn over, and in the next stitch, so this stitch right here is connected to this slip stitch. So in the next stitch, I am going to do a half double crochet. Now I'm going to half double crochet until I get to the last 12 rows of this back part of the sweater. Okay, so I counted 12 over from here. So this is, sorry. So my camera set up a different way, so I'm like trying to figure out the angles. I'm really tired, guys. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired, but I want to finish this part before I go to sleep. So I put off 12, put a stitch marker from 12 over, and now instead of just going all the way to the end and tying off and retying, I'm just gonna do the neckline, and I purposely left a long tail on the back part of the back part of one of the things so that I can sew the rest of it together. So now I am going to kind of turn my work just a little bit, and I am going to just go right into, let me do it again. So this is one panel and this is the next one. I have this stitch marker right here. We don't want to go into this stitch right here because that's connecting the two together. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go right into the available first stitch on the other panel. That makes sense. And then I'm just going to have double crochet around until I get to the other side. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to do one more row of this half double crochet. This is just for the neckline. I just want to make it look as neat as possible. So I'm going to do one more row of half double crochets. So this is the last stitch before we get to that the first stitch. Makes sense. So I'm going to just insert my hook and do a double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain one space. Then I'm going to chain one. And I'm just going to do one more row of half double crochets, and then that will be it for the neckline. And then I'm just going to sew these two pieces together using this string right here and either my hook or a tapestry needle. So that's it. I'm gonna come back when the neckline is done and sewing the last part of the armhole. I'm gonna show you guys how to determine how long you want your armhole to be and the arms. So I'll be back. Okay guys, so I did one sleeve, all these loose strings. So I did one sleeve off camera. Let's see if you can see it. Perfect. And now I'm gonna sew. I just have to sew this up, the sides, but we're gonna go to the next side. We're gonna do the sleeve and I'm gonna sew those sides in later. So the way I did this was I put, of course, I put my sweater on to measure where I wanted the sleeves to start, and you should do the same. Just because you're making this for you, so you want it to be perfect for you. So I want my sleeves to start at the burgundy. So I'm just going to take one of these and hook it in so it's closed, basically, just so I know where I'm starting. So now you can either just start on the sleeves or you could sew this together first. I'm gonna make sure I'm working. You gotta make sure you're working wrong side all the time. All the time you should be working wrong side. And how you know that is because you see the V's of where you stitch together the arm, and then when you turn right side, you don't see those V's. So I'm gonna take my hook, my burgundy, cranberry, whatever color yarn you want to call it, or whatever color you're using, you're going to take that color. I don't know what's going on with my yarn right now. Okay, so I'm taking my cranberry. Okay, so I'm taking my cranberry and I am turning my work where the top of the arm is facing me, and I'm looking at this, basically looking down the garment. And I'm going to loop my yarn around my pointer finger, take it in that first stitch. So this is where we connected it, and this is the first stitch. I'm calling this the first stitch. So I'm going to attach the yarn, making sure that it's tight, and then I'm going to chain 3. 2, Now I put 38 stitches into this armhole. So yours might be different because of the length or the amount of chains you chained for your panels. So the only thing, well, the best thing I could tell you is to put a double crochet into every empty stitch around, making sure that it's evenly spaced. So like this is my next empty stitch. Perfect. You want to make sure they're evenly spaced. It's not too close and they're not too far apart. That makes sense. So if you're going to make a 1X like me, you're just going to evenly put 38 stitches in. And I am crocheting over that piece of yarn, the tail from when we connected the burgundy, just so it's less yarn that I have to weave in at the end. If possible, anytime you can crochet over a tail, I suggest that you do. It's just because this yarn is so soft that you don't want to be trying to weave in and tuck in all these tails when you really don't have to. So I'm going to do one more stitch over this tail and I'm going to let it go. And now I'm just going to keep going. Let me see how many I did so far. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. So I'm just going to keep going until 38 stitches. Well, basically until I get to the other side. Okay, so I'm back around with 38 stitches. This is what it's looking like so far. I'm gonna trim off that extra piece that we crocheted over to hide it into the garment. So I am going to slip stitch. So we're going to slip stitch into the top chain 3, and now it's connected. So now we're going to chain 3. Now I wrote this down because I have a really bad memory and I don't go off patterns. I just crochet and then I end up having to go back and count like the rows and things that I did. So I wrote this down. Let me see where I put it. Okay, so this is row 1 of the sleeves. Now we're gonna do 4 more rows. I'm actually just show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is row 1 of the sleeve. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then in the 6th row, I started decreasing. And I did 3 rows of decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did 8 rows of cranberry, and then I did 8 rows of gray. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So this is I'm getting really good at sleeves. I'm really impressed with myself. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do 5 rows of just regular going around double crochet, slip stitch, and chain 3. 5 rows of that. That's including the first row. And then we're gonna do 3 rows of decrease. Can you see? You can see the decrease. So we're going to do 3 rows of decrease, which is I like half double crochet 2 together for my decrease. Whatever stitch you like for your decreases, that's how you do it. So we're doing 3 rows of decreases, and then after the 3rd row of decrease we change to gray, and then we just do 8 rows of regular gray. That's it. I'm actually do it together with you guys, but I just wanted to show you what the finished product of the sleeve should actually look like. So we're going back to this side. My yarn pulled out. Let's tighten it back. Okay, so we're going to yarn over. We're going to insert our hook into the next stitch. This chain 3 is a stitch, so we're going to yarn over and then put a double crochet into that. And now we should just go around every stitch. Now we're going to do that for the next 4 rows. Okay, so I'm going to cut the clip here, and I'm just going to finish for the next 4 rows, and then I'm going to come back on the 6th row when we start our decreases. Okay, I don't know if I showed you this. Well, I know I didn't show you this, but I'm at the end of actually row 3. And I'm going to show you where to slip stitch into. So you're going to count up 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to slip stitch into that top 3, the top 3 stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch in. That's it. And then you're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. I know the things that we think is common, I want to say common sense for crochet is not always. I'm not saying, I hope you guys don't take that wrong, but when I first started crocheting, like it was things like that that they didn't show, that I'm like, well, how am I supposed to connect that? Where am I supposed to connect that to? And now that I know exactly where to connect it to, I think that everybody else should know, and that's just not the case, and I apologize. But we go. So I am in, I think this will be row 4. So I'm gonna come back after this row and the next row is complete, so we can start on the decreasing rows. Okay, so I am at the end of row 5. I'm just going to do my last stitch and slip stitch into the 3rd chain up in that chain 3 space. Okay, so this is what it should be looking like so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So now we're going to start with our decrease. I'm going to chain 2 because I'm doing half double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch. I'm going to pull back through. I should have 3 stitches on my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, pull back through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4. Real simple. And then I'm just going to go right into that double crochet. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning of the stitch. I'm going to do one more because we have 3 stitches left on our in this row. So I'm going to do this one, double crochet, and then I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch, pull back through, leaves me with 3 stitches on my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, pull through, leaves me with 4 stitches on my hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4. Now I'm going to 1, 2, 3 in the third chain from the hook. I'm going to slip stitch through. Sorry, it's really windy today. Hope you can hear me. I don't talk that loud to begin with. So now we're going to chain 3. Now this is going to be row 7. Your sleeve should be looking something like this right now. So we're in row 7 now. We're going to chain 2. Yarn over, insert a hook into the stitch, which have 3 stitches on a hook. Insert into the next one, which have 4. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. Now we're going to just go around double crochets, and we're going to do the same thing to the last 2 stitches on a row, and then we're going to do that again for the 8th row, and then I'm going to come back at the end of the 8th row so that we can attach gray. Remember, it was 5 rows of regular double crochet and then 3 rows of decrease. We decreased in the first 2 stitches and in the last 2 stitches for all 3 rows. Okay, so I am almost at the end of row 8 of the burgundy, the cranberry, whatever color we're calling it. So I have last 2 stitches on the decrease, and I'm going to slip stitch. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Sorry. I'm going to take that decrease out. We're going to insert. I'm going to pull apart here with 4 stitches still on my hook. Can we see that? I have 4 stitches on my hook. I'm going to pull the gray, have it looped over my finger so that I can just loop it over the work, and I'm going to pull through all 4 with the gray. Now I'm going to slip stitch into that 3rd, and I'm going to pull all the yarn tight. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we are just regularly double crocheting. Now we're going to insert a hook into this stitch right here, and I am just going to double crochet for 8 rows with this gray. All the decreasing and everything was done with burgundy, cranberry. So this gray rows are just simple double crochets until you do 8 rows of them. Okay, so I'm just going to continue 8 rows of gray, and then I'll come back to show you guys what it looks like. And we need to sew up the bottom parts, so we're going to do that on camera too. So I'll be back once the gray is done. Remember, just 8 rows of double crochet. That's it.